What's up guys, Antoine here at DPR. I've been breeding ball pythons for 10 years. Here are the most crucial things I've learned. So I've been keeping ball pythons for a very long time, breeding for almost 10 years now, and by having 10 years of experience, you get to realize some things that you wish you would have known prior, that you would have avoided some mistakes and you would have been way more efficient in that field. And that's kind of what the video of today is about. I want to explore 4 different topics that I think are really crucial that I've learned throughout the years that I'm implementing today on a daily basis. So the very first aspect of this video is about being hands-on in your collection. And that kind of applies to different things. It very much applies to, spend some time in your collection, clean the animals, feed the animals. You'll get to learn them, learn their behavior, their patterns. Some female will go every year at the same time. Some males can be trickier to start eating or breeding after the season. Know when to pull the plug, stop breeding them. Know when to get extra food or dial down on the food. This is very important. Know the temperature, the humidity. If you're always there in your collection and you take care of your animals and you know how they are, you'll know exactly this bin, this animal's here. Oh, you look, misses a shed or the shed is coming. You spray a little bit more, spot clean here and there. And that just helps the general collection be better overall. But being hands-on in your collection also means knowing your projects, knowing your genetics, and knowing what to get, what not to get, in a sense of, if I know the females I have, I know how I can use them properly, and when I buy a male or I hatch a male, I know exactly what this male could go to right away because I know my collection very well. So being hands-on with your collection also means know what you have in your racks. You don't want to have a female there that you're never really going to breed or doesn't make sense in your breeding plan, or a male that just sees one female a year, and you could definitely upgrade that male and have efficiency. It's real estate. We have animals here in racks. We pay very expensive money for those racks, and every single space on those racks should be worth something. It's important to have better use of these, and being hands-on in your collection, knowing what you have, knowing what's going on, knowing the animal behavior is the most crucial thing that I've learned throughout those years. Second part is about knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And this is something that I've been working on more in the last 3-4 years, probably even more 2-3 years, something that I've been more and more aware of. And what I mean by strengths and weaknesses is not everything excites us to the same level, and we don't all have the same interest in doing the different things that this involves. Breeding snakes touches so many different things. It touches the animal husbandry, it touches marketing and branding, it touches accounting if you do this as a business. It also is touching international relationships or just regional shipping and whatnot. Like all this logistic is a different thing. There's a science aspect of it with the shed testing, the genetic, incomplete, dominant, recessive, and whatnot. There are so many different levels that this will require you to be good at, and you can't be good at everything. I know personally in my personal life, I'm not a manual person. I really have a hard time doing anything manual, but I know that I cook very well, and that is my strength. I know in my personal life, cooking is a strength, so I rather focus on that and enjoy myself on that, and then get help for the other parts that I'm not the best at. When it comes to the snakes, it's the same thing. Obviously, when you start, you don't have really a choice. You kind of have to do everything as you scale, and if that's what you want and if that's your goal, obviously at some point you can get some help with your kids, your wife, friends, an employee to do some parts of the job that you don't like, that you're not the best at. And that will depend on each breeder. We're all going to have our different things. I know personally doing the cleaning has been a thing that I've been doing for the longest time, and I want to focus more on working for the business over working in the business. And that's where I have an employee now, and that really helps because when I come in, I know my room is perfectly clean. I feed the animal, but I know that when I come in, I can actually add value to the business instead of working inside the business. But if you're in a situation like I was before, where you have to do everything because it's a smaller scale, or you just have another job and you don't want to take this full time, find a plan. Have an honest moment with yourself. Find out what are the things that you dread when you walk into your room. What are the things that you're always pushing off for later? If it's cleaning, if it's feeding, if it's labeling the animals. It's just about finding what it is and then making sure that you have a plan and that you actually do it early as possible in the week. So the way I was doing it before with my cleaning is when I was coming in on Monday and Tuesdays, I would clean the entire room and I would spend big days just doing that, because for the rest of the week, I had that outside of my mind. It was not like it's something that I had. It's like, oh yeah, I have to clean, I have to clean, I have to clean. No, it's done. Now I can focus on feeding. I can focus on my labeling. I can focus on branding, YouTube videos and whatnot. And actually that is a thing. I'm not really good at planning videos. I'm filming the video yesterday. So you're seeing it today. I filmed it yesterday. And I have to get really better at that because I am really lacking at this part. And I know that's not one of my strengths. I have full of ideas, but I'm always last minute when it comes to do them. And sometimes it happens that I can't post on the Thursday because the Wednesday was too crazy and I didn't get to film a video and I have nothing in backup. So that kind of bites me back in the ass. But that's the reality of it. So it's knowing what are your weaknesses and also at the same time knowing what are your strengths. If you know that you're extremely good at something in your business, like I'll take for example Steven at Leviathan. He is incredible with filming videos, scripting, doing the whole, like I'm not there. Like I've been doing videos for a long time, but I'm still like one of the first time that I actually have something holding the camera and I'm just in the room doing it, and it's different. Like it's not my strength. And if it's something that is your strength, use it as a strong point and build your brand off of that, or use it as a key element in your day-to-day routine. Third point is one of my favorite to talk about because it's about planification. And I love planning. I love planning the breedings. I love planning which animals are going to go to which. But here is more about planning. The way I would say it is plan for 1 year, 3 years, and then 5 years. And plan for different things. Plans for your collection, the actual breeding. Do I have enough males for next year? Do I have enough males for the females that I hatch? Do I have a pairing that's going to produce that? Or do I have to start looking for that specific animal to buy in the future, so when that animal, the female, is ready, I actually have the right snake to pair with and use the best out of that female? So that's part of planning. That could be done in 1, 2, 3 years, depending on how you want to scale it. But that is part of the planning. Planning is also how many holdbacks am I keeping? Will I have space for those? Or if I need to sell some adults, do I know which ones exactly? Can I already start to weed out some of them slowly instead of having to move everything all at once? Or do I have an extra room to, add a rack? Do I have space in my room? So knowing that is also very important. Planning for the future. Do I want to breed my own rodents? Do I have the space for that? Is my partner okay with me breeding rats at the house, or should I rent some place to do it? So all these things are extremely important questions that you have to ask yourself before you're actually in the need of it. So if you can project yourself, where am I going to be in 1 year? Where am I going to be in 3 years? Where am I going to be in 5 years? You can anticipate some of those, I wouldn't say issues, but some of those challenges that may come along the line. And if you can anticipate those before, you're going to save yourself so much problems down the line. If you have too many holdbacks and now they're too big and you need to put them somewhere and you just don't have the space for it, that is a big issue. But if you see that coming prior, you could solve that problem way before and everything goes way more smoothly. It also goes to feeder, right? If you keep more animals, you'll have more mouths to feed. Can you afford feeding all those animals? Because that rat bill is going to be way more expensive. Do you want to breed them? Do you have the good source for them? It could be also that maybe at some point your collection is going to grow. You're going to have a lot of babies, and could be just seasonal thing, but are you going to have to spend more time in the business with your actual job? Can you spend more time in your breeding? Do you need help? Can you start looking for help? Could you train someone in the off season so that when the big time of the year with full of babies and shipping and clutches and shows happen, maybe that person's going to be ready? So it's all about thinking about what's going to come ahead and be prepared for that. And for me, it was a big deal to actually sit down, look at all the data, look at all the animals I have, look at all the projects, the feeders and whatnot. And that really helped me push through some of those more difficult challenges because I was prepared for those. All right, so the last factor that I'm going to talk about that I've learned through those years is how important your network that you built through the years is crucial to the success of this industry. When I talk about network, it doesn't mean social media presence. It doesn't mean branding or marketing. The network is really those contacts that make it happen. For example, I'm in Canada, I'm not in the US, we have a smaller market. Most of my sales are outside the country. I have a super good relationship with Brian from NBK. Obviously, we team up in a lot of projects, but that is a very important contact for me because he's the one applying for all the CITES permits, doing all that job for me. So it is a very crucial contact. I went to Japan. I build relationships towards that. I go to the shows in the US. I almost never miss a Tinley in October, but I build those relationships. I try to go visit breeders, went to Europe. And the whole idea behind that, you guys know it. Like I do maybe one video when I go to a show or something, or barely even. I don't go there for the content. I actually go there for the relationships. And those relationships, you never know what they can bring. You meet someone from another country or someone local to you actually that you have no idea how this relationship is going to evolve, but maybe one day at some point that relationship that you built and nourished is going to bring you something back, or you can help that person. It doesn't necessarily have to be a one-directional relationship. Sometimes relationships are really going both ways. We'll have a good deal on one end and then that deal is going to come back. It can be for trades. It could be, there's so many different things that relationship will get you so far in this industry, and that's really all it is. Be kind, be out there, talk to people, congratulate them on their amazing combos, ask some questions, and it's just about building something strong enough that if you're in need, people will come to help. And if you have some question to ask, you know where to ask them, and you'll be able to have decent people around you. And that to me is one of the most important things that I've done in the last 10 years. And I'm not the best at it, but I've been good enough that I've built some really decent relationships in the past that some of them are now friends to me, and it's really, really important. So that kind of sums it up for, 10 years of breeding, my most important lessons. Obviously, I could go for another 20 different points, but I think that this kind of summarizes, if you're getting in now, what do you have to start thinking about right now if you don't want to do some mistakes and if you want to be as efficient and use yourself as an asset for the future. So that's kind of my video for today. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me down a comment below and subscribe to YouTube channel. Go subscribe to follow our Instagram page for daily snake content. Go check our available animals on Morph Market. Although right now at this time of the year, it's really, really low. I don't have much, I'm very sorry, but the incubator is getting really full. So that should come very soon. And on this, we'll see you soon. Cheers.